All right, let's dive in. Today, we are taking a look at the incredible economic story of Jharkhand. How a state that's literally built on mineral wealth is making this massive pivot towards green industries. And, maybe most importantly, what its ambitious plan for a so-called just transition could mean for all of us.
So to really get Jharkhand, you've got to start with this title you hear all the time, the Mineral Storehouse of India. And look, this isn't just some catchy nickname. It is the absolute bedrock of its entire economic identity. But, and this is the interesting part, that massive natural wealth, it's really just chapter one of a much, much bigger story.
Okay, so let's get into it. First things first, let's lay the foundation. We're going to look at the headline numbers, the ones that really show you the sheer scale and, honestly, the momentum of Jharkhand's economy as it stands right now.
Check this out. 5.6 lakh crore rupees. That is a huge number. That's the projected gross state domestic product, or GSDP, for 2025-26. Basically, it's the total value of everything produced inside the state. It's a crystal clear sign of a really significant, and more importantly, a growing economic engine.
But it's not just about the size, right? It's about the speed of that engine. Jharkhand's economy is projected to grow at a real rate of 6.17%. That is a seriously powerful pace. It's a huge indicator of strong economic momentum, a clear sign that this is a state on the move.
So, where is all this growth actually coming from? Well, this breaks it down perfectly. Yeah, the services sector is the biggest piece of the pie, but just look at that massive 44.1% share from industry and mining. Wow, that kind of industrial might is what puts Jharkhand right up there with the top industrial states in the entire country. And of course, agriculture. Even though it's a smaller percentage, it is still absolutely crucial for a huge chunk of the population.
All right, let's dig a little deeper now into those two traditional pillars, the ones that have really defined Jharkhand for so long: agriculture and, you guessed it, the very reason it has that famous title, mining.
Agriculture, we're talking staples like rice and maize. It's the absolute lifeblood for a huge part of Jharkhand's population. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. It is almost totally dependent on the monsoon rains. And that, right there, makes it a pretty vulnerable sector. It's a massive area that's just crying out for more development and innovation.
And then we have the mineral storehouse itself. So what makes Jharkhand so special? Well, get this. It is the only state in all of India that produces coking coal, uranium, and pyrite. All three. On top of that, it's a leading producer of coal from these legendary fields like Jharkhand. It's got rich iron ore deposits in Singhbhum, and it's a major hub for mica and koderma. The sheer amount of mineral wealth here, it's just staggering.
Okay, so this all brings us to a really, really important question. We live in a world that's trying to move away from fossil fuels, right? So what does the future possibly hold for an economy that is so deeply built on coal? How does a powerhouse like Jharkhand even begin to adapt?
And believe me, Jharkhand has an answer to that question, and it is a bold one. It's all about a strategic, super ambitious pivot, basically turning away from the past and looking directly towards the industries of the future. This right here captures the vision perfectly. On one side, you've got the legacy industries, your iron, your steel, your cement. But on the other side, that's the future. We're talking green steel, electric vehicles, solar manufacturing, and of course, mining the critical minerals that power all of our modern tech. This isn't just a small shift, no way. It's a complete reimagining of its entire industrial identity.
And look, this isn't just some nice idea on a PowerPoint slide. That number, 11,000 crore rupees. That's a massive investment that Tata Steel has already announced specifically to produce green steel. This is the transformation happening right now, in real time, with some serious money behind it.
But, okay, all this big industry talk, this huge economic change, what does it actually mean for the people living in Jharkhand? Let's kind of zoom in now and look at the human side of the story.
Well, one of the cornerstones of the state's social policy is something called the Mataryan Samman Yojana. This is a really big deal. It's a landmark welfare scheme, and its whole purpose is to put financial power directly into the hands of women, specifically those between the ages of 18 and 50.
So how much are we talking about? 2,500 rupees every single month. That's a really significant amount of money going straight into households. It's all about empowering women to make their own financial decisions and providing that really crucial bit of economic stability.
And here's something that's absolutely critical.
In a state with such a large tribal population, protecting their economic foundation is everything. That's where the Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act and the Santhal Pargana Tenancy Act come in. The best way to think about them is like legal shields. They're designed specifically to stop tribal land from being transferred to non-tribals. It's all about making sure that the community's most vital economic asset, their ancestral land, is protected. So all of this, the industry pivot, the social policies, it all leads us to this final, and honestly, most visionary part of the story. Jharkhand's blueprint for a green future, and it's all centered around this big idea called the just transition.
So what exactly is a just transition? Well, think of it like an economic roadmap. The goal is to deliberately move away from an economy that depends on coal and move towards a green one. But, and this is the just part, you have to do it in a way that's fair, that's equitable, and that makes damn sure the workers and communities who relied on those old industries are not left behind.
And let me tell you, the scale of this ambition, it's absolutely breathtaking. The investment that they estimate is needed to make this a reality between 2026 and 2070 is, wait for it, $256 billion US. This is so much more than just a project. It's a multi-generational commitment to completely reinventing the entire state's economy.
And this is how they plan to do it. These are the practical steps on that roadmap. We're talking about actively developing new energy sources like green hydrogen, strategically mining those critical minerals we need for all our new tech, promoting sustainable stuff like natural farming, and of course, building a whole new low-carbon manufacturing base for things like solar panels and EVs.
Which really leaves us with one final, pretty big question, doesn't it? As you look around the globe, so many other industrial regions are facing this exact same challenge: how to move away from fossil fuels. So the question is, can Jharkhand's ambitious, people-focused, and just transition actually become a successful blueprint? Not just for India, but maybe, just maybe, for the rest of the world?